Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm doing another Q&A video where I take your questions from Twitter and I answer them all in this video. Now, in today's Q&A video, we've obviously got a ton of questions regarding the rumored biker update for Grand Theft Auto Online, sort of the content that's supposed to be coming in that, as well as a bunch of other really cool GTA Online questions sprinkled in there as well. So it's going to be a really great Q&A video. Hopefully, you guys do go on to enjoy. If you want to possibly be featured in the next one, all you have to do is go down in the description. Follow me on Twitter, and anytime I'm looking for Q&A questions, just ask with the hashtag AskBoss, and you might find yourself featured like many of the people in this video today. So with all the way, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into the questions, and let's get it started. All right, so jumping into the first question, it comes from Cool Sudan 24, who tweets at me, do you think that the Bikers DLC will be as big as Finance and Felony or Cunning Stunts? Hashtag AskBoss. So that's going to be really interesting because the Finance and Felony and Cunning Stunts theme allowed Rockstar to do a lot of stuff, but I'm wondering if they're going to be limited with the biker theme or if they're going to be able to do some really cool stuff with that. Now, I would imagine Rockstar's been planning this for a while, so they've got some ideas that we haven't thought of yet, and I'm sure they'll implement some really cool things like buying properties or even biker gangs, or maybe even very similar to like CEO stuff that has to do with the bikers and with the biker gangs. So I would imagine it's going to be more than just like, here's a few motorcycles, here's a few like biker accessories and clothing, and here's one or two weapons. I doubt we're going to be seeing that. Ever since Rockstar dropped providing updates for the last generation system, the updates have been pretty beefy in terms of the content that they provided, and I think that the Bikers DLC update, if it does come into the game, is going to be no exception, and in my opinion should be similar to Finance and Felony and the Cunning Stunts DLC. Okay, up next, we have another question from Cameron, who tweets at me, hashtag AskBoss. If we get a biker DLC, what vehicles, new or returning, would you like to see? So returning vehicles, I'd obviously love to see a ton of the bikes that were featured in Grand Theft Auto 4's The Lost in the Dam DLC, which was literally all about a motorcycle gang and bikers. So obviously Rockstar could return to some of their roots there, and that would be pretty epic. As far as vehicles, I'd love to see them obviously add the Lost Slam Van. That could be awesome. I think this is a great opportunity for them to add the Duke of Death into the game, which has of course been in GTA 5 single player for the longest time now, so I'm not exactly sure why it's still blacklisted in Grand Theft Auto Online. But as far as new vehicles go, I'd like to see some like really menacing and grungy kind of like off-road muscle cars, maybe even trucks or sports classics or vans or something like that. Just anything to get us into the biker mood. I know there's going to be a lot of motorcycles, but I also believe there's going to be some vehicles as well, like four-wheel cars and whatnot. So I think that Rockstar is going to have a good mix here. So I'd love to see them return some pretty cool vehicles as well as some pretty cool bikes also. Our next question comes from Norman Mower, who tweets at me, if the rumored biker DLC is official, what is your guess on when we will have an announcement of the release? Hashtag AskBoss. So Norman, yeah, the guess for when this is supposed to come out, or what people have been saying, is August. However, I'm not exactly sure that's going to happen. It absolutely might, but I just assume because Rockstar was featuring the stunt race creator in August that they wouldn't add like another DLC into the game that soon. So my guess was going to be maybe sometime in early September, maybe middle of September, maybe even closer to October. But if it does come out in August, if it's supposed to come out in August, then we should expect to see an announcement and possibly even a trailer very soon. Rockstar, with all their recent DLCs, have done trailers into the game, and they've updated them on their newswire and whatnot. So I would imagine that this biker update, if it's real, is going to be no exception either. And they're going to have an announcement, a trailer. But when that's going to come, I'm not sure. I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled over the next few weeks because who knows? It's Rockstar. They can choose to drop it whenever, and it might be much sooner than we all think. This next question comes from Nitro Gaming, who tweets at me, if we are getting a biker DLC, where do you think a mod shop is going to be? Hashtag AskBoss. So I've been pondering this question too because there's a lot of obviously Los Santos custom shops in the game, but there's a couple abandoned mod shops that are in Los Santos, but I really couldn't see a biker shop being inside of the city. If anywhere, I would really want it to be up in Sandy Shores or Palito Bay or Grapeseed or somewhere like that, where the bikers are a little bit more traditional. So I would hope that it would have been somewhere up there as compared to in the city. Not only would that give people a reason to go up into Blaine County, Palito Bay, Sandy Shores, and explore up there, but it would also be cool to have something like unique up there, like a nice, cool biker shop. And it would also fit with more of the scenery and the theme and the desert and whatnot. So I'm really hoping if there is a mod mod shop. Obviously, we don't know if there is going to be one yet. That's where Rockstar decides to go for it, and that's the location that they decide to put it in, a little bit more north, because so many things have been happening in the city that it's just way too crazy. Our next question today comes from Soccer Person 1, who tweeted me, do you think the biker DLC will have anything to do with the buying and selling cargo missions? Hashtag Ask Boss. That's a great question, Soccer Person, because from some of the files and some of the lines of coding we found in game, it does suggest that it is going to be using the Goon Boss or CEO VIP bodyguard system. And there is going to be some element to that is carried over into the biker DLC. Now, is it going to be exactly like what's happening in Finance and Felony, where you go out and do buy missions and sell missions? No, because I don't think Rockstar wants to like merge the DLCs that much, where they're so similar that it just doesn't make sense to be kind of in the Finance and Felony realm or the biker realm. They definitely need to be separated in some way, but I do think there is going to be, like, whether it's the buying of drugs or the buying of, certain things that bikers need. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I definitely think there's going to be a money-making system attached to the biker update, just like there was a money-making system attached to further adventures in Finance and Felony, where you had the CEO warehouses and offices. Now, once again, I am not sure how Rockstar is ultimately going to do that and what things they're going to make the bikers sell, or, what sort of contraband or materials they're going to be earning. But at the end of the day, I don't, like I said, think it's going to be a DLC that just says, here's content, here's some motorcycles, enjoy. I think there's going to be a more complex system to this update, and at the same rate, that's pretty exciting too. Our next question today comes from Luke B, who tweets at me, do you think we'll be able to own buildings like a biker would, like clubs, garages for bikers? Now, Luke, I'm actually going to have a video out later today that kind of talks about that. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to be showing you some really cool things in game. But yes, I agree. The bikers need to have their own sort of either safe house or clubhouse, very similar to the way it was in Grand Theft Auto 4's The Lost in the Damned DLC. I'm sure you guys are sick of me mentioning that, but there's so many great things in that update that I think Rockstar should implement into this game. So in that game, they obviously had like a biker clubhouse and a warehouse, and it was filled with like a pool table and music and just a great place to hang out. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a club or a garage or a biker bar, but there certainly needs to be something for the bikers to own so that they can kind of hang out in. That would be super cool. And again, it's going to be anyone's guess as to what the actual content is going to be, but I think there's plenty of buildings in games and even hints of that in the past and in cut content that suggests that if a biker DLC is added into the game, it's likely we'll see something like building or property ownership. So that's a great question right there. Moving on, we have another question from AI Gaming, who tweets at me, do you think the new bikes will be over 300,000 as the biker DLC will be aimed towards bikes and not cars? Hashtag Ask Boss. So I'm assuming he's talking about Rockstar's trend of like expensive priced items, and the bikes in the game are traditionally not that expensive. I mean, some of the DLC bikes have, like the Electro and the Hikachu, they've been, kind of expensive. And yeah, I mean, I can honestly see Rockstar trying to price these bikes as high as possible to, obviously, they want to make money here, but they also want to keep them as fair as possible. So they're not going to be charging like $1 million or $2 million for a motorcycle. That seems absurd. But at the same rate, I don't think these bikes are just going to be $5,000, $10,000. I think they will be in the range of $300,000 to $500,000, depending on what they do, what sort of upgrades they have, what sort of, cool customization they can do, or how rare they are. So I do think they're going to be within that range. I would be surprised if any of the bikes were upwards of $1 million. That's just really, really expensive for a bike. So I'm not sure how Rockstar is going to go about, getting money from this update. They might have to do it through other methods, like I mentioned, like a biker bar or, clubs that you can own, or a garage or whatnot. So maybe expect the vehicles to not be expensive, but maybe other aspects of the DLC to be expensive. Who knows what's going to happen, though? Taking a quick break, this next question comes from Killerman329, who tweeted to me, what real-life cars would you like to see in GTA Online? Hashtag Ask Boss. So there's two new vehicles I'd like to see. I'm going to go with the brands in-game that you know. Another one would be a Truffade car, which is based off of Bugatti in real life. I think that would be pretty cool. We have not had another one of those added into the game, so that would be extremely cool if Rockstar added another Truffade car into Grand Theft Auto Online. And another brand that I think would be pretty cool would be another overflawed vehicle. Now, the only overflawed vehicle in game that you guys know is the overflawed Entity XF. and that is based off of the Swedish hypercar manufacturer. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's Koenigsegg or something like that. Koenigsegg. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but they make hypercars or supercars in game. So I think that would be pretty cool if we found, or we were given another one of those into the game. That would be pretty awesome, and those would probably be the two new real-life cars I'd like to see in the game, or at least real-life manufacturers that I'd like to see have a new one into the game. All right, looks like AI Gaming got 2 questions in this week's Q&A video. He asked another one: what new weapons do you think will be included in the Biker DLC? Hashtag AskBoss. So what I want to see is some really cool and fun weapons. So I want to see like a spiked baseball bat, or I want to see like a nail gun, or I want to see like an explosive auto shotty, or a combat sniper, or a pipe bomb. Something fun. I don't want like a boring old weapon or anything like that. I want something exciting that not only represents the biker theme and the bikers in general, but something that's really fun and would be epic to use as well. Obviously, I think all the weapons would be needed to use on a motorcycle. That would make the most sense. I couldn't see Rockstar adding anything that wouldn't be used on bikes, obviously because it's based around a biker DLC, but I think they could do some pretty fun weapons, and I'm really excited to see if this DLC, like I said, is real, what Rockstar has planned. All right, and our final question today comes from Extreme Gaming, who tweets at me: since Xbox Scorpio and PS4 Neo are coming out next year, can Rockstar render GTA 5 at 60 FPS? Hashtag AskBoss. So that's a little bit of a confusing question, but what I think he's trying to get across is Rockstar going to create another version of GTA 5, maybe one that runs at 4K or that runs at 60 FPS on console for these new systems? And I'm going to say no, because I think Rockstar's done with GTA 5 in terms of the new games they're going to put out. They did the ones for the old generation systems, 360, PS3, then we got PS4, Xbox One, then PC came out, and I think they're done. I don't think they're planning on adding a updated 60 FPS 4K version for the consoles. If they did, that would be cool, and I would totally be buying it, but I'm not expecting it. I want to say Rockstar is just hard at work on other projects now. But anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, if you want to get involved in the next one, once again, just go down in the description, follow me on Twitter, use the hashtag AskBoss whenever I'm looking for questions, and you might find yourself featured in the next video. However, if you did go on to enjoy this one, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.